For thousands of years, the cow has played a pivotal role in the Hindu society of India. And today, this country is the largest producer of milk in the world. I've travelled to Kolkata, the capital of the old British Raj, to learn more about how this milk is used and how Indian cheese is made. The Republic of India is rarely associated with artisan and farmstead cheese. But if you take a look at the facts, they speak for themselves. This vast and incredibly diverse country is home to an astonishing 300 million dairy cows and 94 million milking buffaloes. And 85% of all the milk produced here comes from small, subsistent family farms with less than 3 dairy animals. India is a nation of butter lovers, and it's played a major role in local cuisine ever since the art of clarifying butter to purify and preserve it was perfected thousands of years ago. Great reverence is shown by many Indians towards the cow, which is regarded as the holy beast in Hindu society. And it was the teachings of Lord Krishna in the 5th century that encouraged the use of milk as an important source of protein in the vegetarian diet of his followers. In fact, Lord Krishna is widely recognised as the Gopala, or protector of cows, and there are many stories about his childhood pranks to satisfy his love of butter. Lovely, thank you. But the popularity of cheese in India is quite another story, and its origins are surprisingly recent. Until the 15th century, cheese was largely unknown in India because in the Hindu religion, sour milk was considered impure. It was the arrival of the Europeans along this river that changed everything. They proved that when you curdled milk, you could turn it into cheese. And that's the story of how Paneer and Chennai began. Paneer is a lightly pressed cheese made from fresh milk, curdled without the use of rennet. It is the most well-known of all Indian cheese, but it also has a close and perhaps older cousin. And one of the reasons I've chosen to come to Kolkata is to learn about a unique, unpressed version of paneer known as Chennai. In the early days of European settlement, much of the Chennai made in the rural areas surrounding Kolkata was transported by boat along the river to the city's cheese markets. This small alley is the oldest market in India selling Chennai. It's been operating for the past 200 years. Every day, 3,000 to 4,000 kilos of cheese are sold through here to small shops and restaurants. Today, fresh Chennai is still carried here from small farms by train from hundreds of kilometres away. On arrival, the local merchants empty and weigh each reed basket on ancient scales, and a small handful is removed as payment to the trader for selling the cheese. Fresh milk is also delivered to millions of households in the city every morning by milkwallahs for making homemade Chennai. To find out more, I caught up with a well-known local cookbook author, Mandri Agarwal. Tell me about the cheese in Bengal.
Cheese in Bengal is basically chena, which is made from cow's milk, and that can be used as a savory item as well as a sweet item. It's an inherent quality in Bengalis to have a sweet after every meal. The 4 o'clock snack is a cup of tea, a samosa and a sandesh or cham cham or a rasmalai, or some sort of Indian sweet.
But always made with cheese.
Generally always made of milk, made of this chena, which can be made into any form. It's unbelievable how many variations you can have of this chena, which is a crumbled, soft, fresh cheese, and then you can just make it into a dough, and you can make it and soak it in milk, and that will give you rasmalai. You boil it and soak it in sugar syrup, it'll give you rasgulla. You can fry it. You can do tons of things with it.
To show me just how simple it is to prepare chena at home, Mandri and I headed for the kitchen.
It's very simple. It's just milk and an acid. Because I'm at home and generally because I feed a lot of fresh cheese to my children, I prefer not to use chemicals or anything, so I just go with lemon juice or yogurt, which is definitely healthier.
So this is just paneer?
This is just, well, paneer is a more commercial term. It's a saltier, harder, semi-hard cheese. This is the paneer that you get in the markets. Okay. Which is made in a factory,
so
and it's pressed longer, yes. So the longer you press it, the harder it becomes, of course. So I'm going to show you homemade cheese, which is very soft, very crumbly. In India, actually, we're one of the very few countries who still have fresh milk straight from the cow. We have a milkman that comes every morning, delivers milk to us, whole milk generally, and that's what we use for making.
Is it pasteurized?
No, it's not pasteurized.
So you might get a couple of litres of milk, unpasteurized,
yes.
Delivered to your door every day?
Yes.
In a bottle?
And now in packets, or they even come in a milk can, something like this. Mine is a little more modern. And they come and pour as much as you want in your little container.
Oh, fantastic.
So we have a litre of milk boiling over here.
Right.
And I'm just going to use the juice of 2 lemons.
So first of all, you boil it.
Yes.
Pasteurize
you have to boil the milk. You have to keep stirring the milk occasionally so that it doesn't stick to the bottom. That's very important. See that it's already curdling.
Oh, yes. So basically, you've soured the milk.
Yes,
yep.
Yes, and it's ready.
Once the hot milk has separated, Mandri drains the curds into cheesecloth and squeezes out all the excess whey. Chena purji is one of the most popular breakfast dishes in Bengal, and Mandri starts to make it by sautéing onions and tomatoes with a little oil.
And generally, when I have it for breakfast, I make the cheese just before, the same way as I did right now.
Yeah, because it's so quick.
Yes,
it literally
it's so
takes
quick.
What,
right.
5 minutes just to make that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I, keep the pan to heat, and then I throw in the vegetables that I want. Some green chilies because we like our pretty spicy.
Yeah. Do you leave the seeds in?
Yes, I'll leave the seeds in, but you're welcome to remove it. Few other additions are coriander leaves, chopped coriander leaves that people really enjoy, and then your various spices, how you would like it.
Fresh chena is then crumbled into the pan, and the all-important Indian spices are added.
So we have salt, of course, and this is turmeric.
Yep.
Very essential in Indian cooking. Red chili powder.
Red chili powder, yeah.
Mustard seeds and cumin seeds. Coriander powder.
Coriander powder, yep.
And this is raw mango powder.
Raw mango powder. Okay.
Which we're not using it today, but we use it in a lot of other dishes. So these are your essentials. Now in every house you might find different ingredients here because depending on what the house eats on a regular basis, the spices they add accordingly. So we'll just add a little bit of turmeric powder,
right.
salt, and a little bit of chili powder. Again, it depends how spicy you like it. Okay. Indian food has a lot of spices, so they say yogurt actually tames down the level of spice in your stomach, so it's easier to digest and you don't have any problems when you're having very spicy food. And actually, my husband used to erupt into a lot of skin problems because of having a lot of spicy food. And team it with yogurt and no issue at all.
Problem.
It really cools it down. It cools your stomach down. So very important. And yogurt, we also use milk to make butter, ghee, like I mentioned. It goes back many, many years ago in the ancient old stories of Lord Krishna, when he used to steal butter that his mom and mom's friend.
That's when he was 12, wasn't it?
Yes, no, even younger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you would see, I mean, typical Krishna photographs of him and his mouth smeared with butter because he's gone and stolen some out of the pots, and they used to churn pots to make butter and ghee out of it, out of the milk. So yeah, we go back a long, long way. Dairy is very important, and so is the cow. We worship the cow. They believe that the cow is a mother figure because it's the way a child suckles on a woman's breast, a mother's breast. That way we get milk from the cow. So we consider the cow, it's Gai Mata. So
it's what, mother?
Gai Mata.
Gai mother.
Gai is cow in Hindi, and Mata means mother.
Okay.
So
So
we
it's a
worship
symbolic.
them. Yeah.
So this looks just like scrambled egg.
Yes, it does.
Yeah?
And you can even have it this way. That's what I do for breakfast. Why don't you try some?
Oh, okay.
And enjoy with a piece of toast. You can even have it with paratha, which is an Indian bread, or with naan. And this is a side dish on its own in the West.
That's lovely. Spicy.
Very
It tastes a
spicy.
bit like scrambled egg too.
Well, we can always fool you with that, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of vegetarians don't eat egg, and this is always a substitute for it. If you learn how to make this, I think you'll make any Indian happy if they come to your home.
Well, it's really simple.
Yes.
It's not difficult.
Yes, yes, yes. So I'll show you what are the other ways that we can use the stuffing that once it's ready. Yeah.
Mandri then makes a simple wheat flour dough and fills it with her Chennai purgy mixture. This is then carefully rolled into a fat pancake and fried, making a deliciously filling bread and cheese snack. Kolkata was the capital of British rule in India from 1772 to 1911, and there are still plenty of opulent buildings and monuments to remind a visitor of this extraordinary colonial period and its later association with the Indian independence movement.
And the reason I've come to this part of India is because it's famous for its unique sweets made of cheese and some very colourful festivals.
There are thousands of sweet shops in Kolkata, and I've timed my visit to coincide with the annual spring festival of Holi, where sweetened chenna forms an important part of the celebrations. Okay, look at this. So what this is just steamed.
Steamed cottage cheese
Okay, and what's the
mixed
little,
with a little bit of sugar.
and what's the little green bits on the top?
This is pistachio for decoration garnish.
It's very nice, quite sweet, very sweet. And the pistachio just gives it that little edge at the end, that little, how would I describe it? That lovely nutty, sweet edge that only pistachio has. I think it tastes very Bengali. As we tasted our way through the vast selection of sweets on display, Sudip explained that the principle of curdling milk and turning it into cheese was first introduced to Kolkata by the Portuguese during the early years of European settlement.
This is jaggery one. This is a palm sugar jaggery.
That's the one I want to try.
Yes. This is date palm sugar.
Yeah. Right. Well, I've heard a lot about that because you only make that at a certain
Non-imported
time of the year, don't you?
Only in the winters.
Okay, thank you. Look at this. So the jaggery makes it go this funny colour?
Yes, right. The jaggery is in brownish color itself. But this jaggery is not the cane jaggery. It comes from date palm.
That's nice. Jaggery is unrefined sugar produced from sugarcane or date palm juice, heated to concentrate its sweetness. Sugar takes many forms in Kolkata, and Sudip offered to show me a local market nearby with a stall carrying more than 30 different varieties. So that's just pure sugar.
Pure date palm sugar. These are different varieties of sugar.
The Malik Dairy was the next stop on our tour, and fresh milk had just arrived.
You know, one of the amazing things about this dairy is it's the first one in my whole career that I've walked in, and when I've taken my shoes off, instead of putting boots on, it's bare feet. This milk here is just whole milk, raw whole milk.
Raw whole milk.
All cow's milk?
Yes, cows.
Cow's milk. Okay, so what are we going to make with this today?
This we can make rasgulla, and we can also make sandesh with this.
Okay. Do you ever use buffalo milk as well?
Buffalo, not in this, but we can use it for mishti doi,
Okay.
the sweet yogurt.
Surup explained that to make today's sweet desserts, the whey left over from cheese making was going to be added to sour the fresh milk.
We used to boil the milk in this earlier.
Right. Okay.
Now we'll be boiling the whey
Wait.
also
Yeah. To sanitize it.
to sanitize it. Still, some houses in the villages are using this because steel is so costly, so they use the mud pot.
Oh, this is a cheap way of making it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And what's this thing here?
This is a stem, the portion of the stem of a palm tree,
Yes.
and it is used to stir. It is used as a stirrer.
Oh, so that's just
Yes.
used to stir this.
It will not get heated, and it will not react with the whey.
So like that.
Because metal ladle can react with the whey, acidic nature of the whey, but this won't.
Ah, you should tell the European authorities that. Eh? They love wood.
Once the fresh heated milk has reached the right temperature, it is drained to another large pot.
So the question is, if the Europeans introduced the idea of curdling milk to India, then Paneer, Chennai are only around 400 years old.
Yes.
It's quite a long time, but it's still
Relatively new.
something that goes back thousands of years. So before that, what you're saying is Paneer and Chennai didn't exist at
No,
all.
didn't exist. Chennai didn't exist. Paneer is not known actually.
Right.
Chennai didn't exist.
So,
Chennai is relatively very new.
okay, well, that's very much part of this area,
Yes, Bengal, part of the Bengal.
but it's a derivative of Paneer.
Maybe other way around also. Paneer is a derivative of Chennai.
The hot whey is then very delicately mixed into the fresh milk, and over the next few minutes, the milk curdles and soft, delicate curds begin to form into chenna.
So it's really just a soft, fresh cottage cheese.
Yes. It resembles like ricotta like European ricotta. It will help to drain all of the whey.
It's quite fun, that.
Yes. Now we'll put it in the cold water.
Oh, and now this is important.
This is very important.
So this is the step that stops it from coagulating and
And
staying together.
this is the step where paneer is being differentiated from chenna.
Yep. So this then becomes chenna.
You never do in paneer, this step in paneer.
The bags of fresh chenna are washed in the cold water until all the whey has been removed, a vital step not used when making paneer. The fresh chenna is then placed on trays where a light sprinkling of cardamom powder is added. And then the mixture is massaged by hand to reach just the right texture. This chenna will be used to make Rasgulla balls and sandish, two popular Bengali sweets. The final Rasgulla balls are then cooked for 10 to 15 minutes in a giant wok filled with boiling sugar syrup, where they are carefully watched to guarantee perfect results. Rasgulla is famous throughout Bengal and can be made with dark or light palm sugar. Sticky, sweet, and delectable. To make Bengal's famous sandish dessert, fresh chenna is vigorously massaged by hand. This is combined with sugar and cooked for 20 minutes over a hot fire until the mixture liquefies. The wok is constantly stirred so the mix doesn't burn, and eventually cardamom powder and saffron are added and mixed through. Ultimately, the saffron makes the finished sandish a light yellow colour, and it can be shaped by hand or pressed into moulds and decorated with pistachio or silver leaf. the finished Bengali sweets are as beautiful as they are tasty. And I was amazed at the variety that can be made from a simple cottage cheese base. Baby Krishna is famous for his love of butter, and there are some wonderful stories about how he used to play pranks on his mother and steal it. Here in Kolkata, during the Holi festival, a small community of potters make blue idols of baby Krishna to celebrate the coming of spring. This wonderful Hindu festival takes place across India with different communities celebrating on different days. One of the key components of Holi is the use of bright colours that signify spring, and people cover themselves and their friends in bright coloured dyes to glorify the fertility of the land. There are several important components of the festival, and to learn more, I joined a resident expert. Where does cheese come into the festival?
Cheese, well, Lord Krishna, who's one of our main gods in India, and he loved cheese. When he was a little boy, he used to steal from his mother's clay pots and get into trouble. Yes, because he wasn't supposed to have as much as he used to want to have with his friends. So he'd go and break the clay pots that the butter was stored in and quickly eat it up and then run away before his mother could catch him. So he was very mischievous, and he was very lovable. And he used to tend cows in the fields with a group of his consorts, and his beloved was Radha, and she was much fairer than he was. So he used to always complain to his mother that, why am I so dark and why is Radha so fair? So of course his doting mother one day said, well, why don't you take some color and smear it over Radha's face, and maybe she'll become, you know, colored like you are. So he did that one day, and then that became a ritual where people lovingly smear color over each other's faces to try and sort of make them colored. But it was also a celebration of spring in Vrindavan, where Krishna was born and lived and things like that. So it's just a happy time, the coming of the summer, the spring, the crops are coming into harvest, and everybody just has a good time with lots of music and feasting and good food and spending time with family and close friends.
Hasna went on to explain that Indians love festivals, and the build-up to Holi is very chaotic, colourful, and a joyous time. When we eventually arrived at her family's home, I was greeted in the customary way and quickly led into the kitchen to see the traditional smoked paneer recipe being prepared.
You know, every day on Holi, every time on Holi we do this, and we put some burnt charcoal inside in this dish, and then we just put in a little butter and we surround it with paneer, and then we just close it.
Okay, so what happens is that the butter burns onto the charcoal.
Yeah.
And that creates the smoke.
That creates the smoke, and then that smoke gets penetrated in all the paneer.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how we get the smoked paneer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long do you do that for?
We do it for say 3-4 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. In the butter, we have this paste of onion and ginger. It's just been ground, and then we'll cook it. Yeah.
So you don't really want it to burn or to
No, we
fry
don't
at all.
want it to burn.
Just gently melt the butter through the ginger and the onion.
Yeah.
Okay.
And once this is cooked, then we put the tomato puree in this.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then we cook it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the significance of this?
Of this tikka?
Yeah.
It's like a welcome. You know, here there is a gland.
Yeah.
There is a gland here.
Yeah.
If you press this, that's why the Indian women wear bindi.
Yeah.
This is the bindi.
Yeah.
They wear the bindi.
Yeah.
Because when you press this, you are pressing a particular gland, which is very good for your health.
Ah.
So that is why all women, I mean, you know, they used to wear this. And even the men used to wear tikka earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
I mean,
that.
they never wore a bindi,
Yeah.
but they always used to put chandan tikka.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this has been cooking now for about 15 minutes?
Yeah,
Until
about
it's gone
15
all
minutes.
brown and...
He's put a little chili powder in it.
Okay, yeah.
And so now it's become a little more solid.
So you've reduced it
Yeah.
and added a little bit of chili powder.
Yeah.
So the tomato puree, oh look at that. Lovely to smell that too. Lovely smell.
Lovely smell, yeah.
Ginger
Yeah.
and the tomatoes, sweet, gorgeous.
Now
Okay,
we're going to
so-
mix some salt
Okay.
in this.
Just a small amount of salt. You like your salt, don't you?
Yeah.
Hey?
So we put little
Plenty
salt.
of salt in there.
And now we keep stirring it.
Yeah. And what's this over here for?
This is the cream. We'll put it in the end.
Okay, and that's just what sort of cream is that? Cow's milk?
Yeah, cow's milk cream.
Okay.
So now he's going to put the gravy into the charcoal paneer.
Yeah. He's taken the charcoal out.
Yeah, we've taken the charcoal out.
Okay, let's mix it all
And
up.
then just mix this up.
Well, I reckon that's going to be really lovely.
It
Looking
is.
forward to
It's going to
trying
be
that.
lovely.
I'll be coloured up by then for sure. At the completion of cooking, the whole family go crazy with colour. And I was given a good makeover by each member of the clan.
This is incredible. I've never been sprayed with so much colour in all my life.
The dyed powders sold on the streets can be dangerous, as they often contain industrial chemicals and extra additives. However, my hosts assured me that the ones we were using were pure vegetable dyes, and they would wash off with a little bit of gentle scrubbing.
Hey, happy Holi!
After the colour frenzy has ceased and everyone has turned a different colour, a great Holi banquet is served with traditional Holi recipes, including our smoked paneer. Just when I thought things had calmed down, Hasna told me that she was taking me to a neighbour's house where a massive Holi party was in full swing. Here they erected a dance floor with overhead showers in the garden and a full bar serving a mix of traditional intoxicants.
And this is the traditional drink of Holi. It's a combination of milk and marijuana. Tastes pretty good. I think it's going to be a long night.
It's hard to describe just how much the locals enjoy this colourful festival. And it seems that everyone joins in the festivities. Rich and poor, young and old, everyone gets involved. The music is played at full volume and staying dry is impossible. Having lived through the 60s, I thought I'd seen it all. But here in India, they've taken celebrations to a whole new level. Today I'm heading about 2 hours southeast of Calcutta to look at a small dairy run by the Institute for Indian Mother and Child, and also to look at some subsistence farms. These are fairly typical of the 40 million scattered across India, and most of them own just 1 or 2 cows. The Institute for Indian Mother and Child began a special program with assistance from an Italian expatriate family in Kolkata. This involved opening a dairy that specialises in producing Bengal's very first mozzarella. Steve Edwards is the owner of an Italian pizzeria in Kolkata and the main sponsor of this unique enterprise. India at its best.
Absolutely. My mother, Anna Maria, came here in 2005 to Calcutta to set up a pizzeria. Now in Calcutta there was no mozzarella, and she thought, why not get an NGO involved, put money back into the community. It's very much about empowering women, helping out a community that otherwise wouldn't have, that level of income coming through their doors.
So this is fairly typical of most Indian small farms.
Absolutely. I mean, in Indians, it's all about subsistence farming. It's about every house having a cow or a goat or, some form of farm animal to provide the house with an income. And it looks like there's a fair bit of milk coming out of that cow too.
If you saw what would come out of a normal dairy cow feeding on grass or in Europe, there's not much there at all.
Oh, really?
No.
In the small rural community that surrounds the dairy, 1,000 litres of fresh cow and buffalo milk is collected every week. The dairy itself is located in a nearby school, and several times a week farmers bring in their milk, often just by the litre in small plastic bottles. Each milk container is measured and recorded, and when all of it has been collected, the process of making mozzarella begins. Stephen's family brought in Italian specialists to train the local young men in how the cheese must be made, and it's clear that they now take great pride in the task of doing it their way. To make mozzarella, the fresh milk is first heated, rennet is added, and it's left to set. The curds are then cut and removed to drain in cheesecloth. Slabs of fresh curd are then cut and reheated in the bowl until they become runny. The pieces are then combined and stretched in the traditional manner. Finally, this pasta filata, or stretch curd cheese, is made into balls, and it's ready to be consumed on pizza and salads back at Stephen's restaurant. There is just one last cheese on my list, and finding it has proved a real challenge. My search has taken me back to the heart of Kolkata, to the famous Newmarket quarters.
This market is incredibly hot and humid, and I'm here to find one of the rarest cheeses in India.
Newmarket is a heritage market established in colonial times, and there is a central cheese area that offers local yoghurt, cheese and butter. Many of the cheeses are displayed in glass fish tanks, and there are signs in the ceiling displaying the shop names.
And this is really exciting. It's called Bandel cheese, and it was originally introduced by the Portuguese, and there's just one place you can find it, here in the Newmarket of Kolkata.
Bandel is made the same way as Paneer. However, as the 5th generation stall owner explained to me, that's where the two cheeses part company.
But the difference is it is salted and smoked.
Yes, yes.
Salted and smoked.
And it's naturally smoked?
No,
Naturally, it's when it just cools down, becomes hard, and then it's sun-dried, and then smoked. There's no kind of machine used, just absolutely handwork, made and then smoked out of cow dung cakes in oven, cow dung ovens. Which is more countryside. Okay. So basically, it's very natural. It's very natural cheese, very tasty cheese.
The brothers went on to explain that the name is actually bundle, as the cheese resembles a small bundle.
Oh, it's quite salty.
It's a bit salty.
Yeah.
That's needed. The salt is needed for its longer preservation. That's
And very smoky.
Yeah, it's very
nice though.
smoky. That's
Very
the specialty
nice.
of the cheese. Very nice. Yes, absolutely.
You have the normal bundle cheese also, which is not smoked.
So that's
unsmoked one.
Okay, but that one's just been soaked for...
Soaked overnight, and then it's become soft and fluffy like this overnight.
Yeah,
Then you made it in slices and put in sandwiches. Just can eat it raw like that. It's no problem, but it's very tasty.
So can you give me a bundle of maybe 5 or 6 and I'll take some home?
That's my pleasure.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Kolkata is an amazing city, full of surprises, and it was wonderful to finally discover this traditional cheese hidden away in the market. Cheese is a staple for all Bengali vegetarians, And it's great to see that despite their love of all things sweet, they still support the farmers making traditional styles like bundle. Or is it bandle? It's my last day in Kolkata, and I'm going to join the head chef of the luxurious Taj Bengal Hotel, who's offered to show me some delicious recipes using the local cheeses. Chef Sujan begins with the classic Chennai paturi, a spicy cheese pudding steamed in banana leaves. Firstly, fresh cheddar is mixed with grated coconut, a pinch of coarse sugar, mustard oil, chopped chilies and ginger, and the juice and zest of a Gandharaj lime.
Does that only grow in Bengal?
No, it's plenty available in the backyard gardens of any Bengali villages. And it's more of a flavor, not too much of juice in it. But people prefer that they take a little of rice or the curry and just squeeze out one or two.
So would it be a bit like a kaffir lime?
It's between a kaffir and lime, yes, to some extent, but a lot of aroma, a lot of flavor.
Certainly got aroma on it.
Yeah. So we're adding a little bit of zest. You have to be careful because you can't add too many.
To this, a pinch of salt and turmeric is added, along with pickled mustard paste and fresh coriander. Sujan then mixes all the ingredients thoroughly into a paste and shapes patties and places them into a banana leaf with a single green chilli to steam for a few minutes.
That's how you serve it, just like that?
Yeah, you just take it out from the steamer and you serve it, and people generally prefers with the banana leaf. You sprinkle some steamed rice along with that and then just have it hot.
Wow, it is sweet and sour and
Sweet and
savoury
sour.
all together.
And a little bit of mustard and lemon.
And the mustard really comes out, and the lemon. And it's quite delicate though. It's not a big, heavy.
No, it's not. It's very light. You wanted to have a very light lunch. You can have a little bit of bowl of rice and this steamed paturi, and it doesn't take much of time. It's mostly the ingredients is available in the houses. So especially in the summer months where you don't want to have it, very spicy food or humid, hot weather. This is a perfect meal.
And the sweetness only in Bengal. I expected that to be very savoury, but that little bit of sugar screams, I come from Bengal.
Bengali dishes, they add a little bit of sugar.
Sugar, yeah.
Yeah, especially in the western part of this part of Bengal.
That's delicious.
Chef Sujan's last dish will feature the bandle cheese in a warm salad and begins with a base of sautéed garlic and green spinach. He then adds red spinach to the pan. Once cooked, this new red spinach layer is added to the green, and then bandle slices are draped on top.
It's quite smoky.
It's beautiful. You can add a little bit of crushed pepper on the plate naturally. The pomegranate goes very well with this. Some pomegranates are for the colors. And this is the pomegranate molasses. You can sprinkle.
Is that sweet?
Yeah, a little sweet.
I wonder why I'm not surprised.
And it's ready.
Beautiful. Look at that. That looks fabulous. That sensation, you get the smokiness of the cheese, the sweetness
of the pomegranate,
and you get this fantastic texture
of the nice
spinach, and then this little garlic finish.
Yes, that's
What
it.
a lovely combination. That's very special. Very special.
It was a great privilege to try all these delicious recipes, and Chef Sujan explained that there are hundreds more due to cheese's importance as a source of protein here in India. Well, it's been a wonderful trip to see beautiful Bengal, and I've been most impressed by some of the cheeses I've found here. It's been really interesting to see how subsistence farming and religion affect the type of cheeses made. And I think my most enduring memory is going to be the friendliness of the people, and of course that Holi festival. I've still got a little mark to take home with me. Join me, Will Stud in India for Cheese Slices!
You did it!